two. One, two, shall not be afraid. You are my strength. You are my song.
Welcome to the Divine Mercy Co-cathedral this Wednesday, the 3rd of December 2025, for the celebration of the 2025 World Day of Catholic School. This is something which started just as a gradual process, and it is coming today, a convergence of the education family of the Diocese of Buea, in which that convergence, by extension, we are talking about the students from the 13 colleges, teachers from these colleges, administrators, all coming together under the umbrella of the Catholic education family of the Diocese of Buea for the celebration of the World Day of Catholic School 2025. At the instance, we're talking about a celebration in which all the students are coming together to identify that holistic formation, noting that this year's celebration has been anchored on the theme Catholic Schools Forming Hearts for Communion, Participation and Mission, in which, according to the Education Secretary, the teams goes further to talk about the communion, the togetherness, and of course participation for a mission of holistic education of all these students. And I am being joined at the Divine Mercy Co-cathedral by the likes of Brother Terence and Brother Junior Elumbad. Brother Junior Elumbad, it is a pleasure having you for the celebration of the World of Catholic Schools at the Divine Mercy Co-cathedral this 3rd December 2025.
I must say, Ilarion, that I'm most delighted to be here to see the young adolescents of the Catholic faith, those who are supposed to uphold the faith tomorrow, to come together in communion, as the team says. And according to the church, the young people who are the leaders of today, tomorrow and the next tomorrow must be groomed integrally right from birth, so that coming up they may take over the duties of the elderly ones in the church and propound the faith. That is why the Bishop of the Diocese of Buea, His Lordship Bishop Michael Bibi, has used this opportunity to summon all the Catholic schools to ensure that both the teachers, the students and the co-formators are given a specific guidelines that will see the students, that will see the seminarians, and that will see all the young people throughout this formation year. I think it is a very delightful moment, and every young person wishes to be there in the year. Thank you, Ilarion.
This is the second year this particular exercise is taking place at the Divine Mercy Co-cathedral. Last year it held here on the 29th of November 2025. That was the 2024-2025 edition, and the 2025-2026 edition is taking place on the 3rd of December 2025, still at the same premises. I must note that we have quite good numbers of students here who are coming together. Imagine all the 13 colleges coming together. The 13 colleges, we will be talking about 5,000 and something number students who are converging here for this celebration. And I must admit that after we were talking about the Bishop's anniversary, this will be another session that the Divine Mercy Co-cathedral will be used extensively without any single chair left without being occupied. Junior, I hope we also note about the students who are dressed in their official attire. Should we talk about Enriqueta Comprehensive High School, Bokunda, St. Joseph College, Sase, who are leading the liturgy? We are talking about Bishop Roger Minor Seminary, Small Support, Our Lady of Mount Carmel College, Munya, Our Lady of Grace College, Molyko, and all the like. These are all the schools coming together under one canopy of the education family to celebrate that holistic formation. Let's look at the theme. When you look at the theme of this celebration, Catholic schools, forming hearts for communion, participation and mission, What do you pick out from this team, Junior?
I think just as you highlighted, Hilarion took off with their costume and their various uniform. It already indicates a certain providential costume which they have worn today. It shows the fact that the church is not only divided. The church does not only use the disunity behind the differences in appearance, but uses that disunity, uses that disparity of appearance to foster the growth. So when we talk about communion and we talk about forming hearts, we are still hinging on that integral formation. And as is said by Pope Francis, that if the man must preach, then the youth must have to preach. And if the girl must preach, that means the woman must be trained right from birth. And this is the reason why they are gathered here today, looking too different but very unique, looking too distinguished but all in unison. And this is what I think every Christian should follow. Because you see the youth, you see the students, they take part, they are the ones singing, they are the ones giving the offertory, they are the ones playing the instrument. And this, I can say, this is the hope of the church. This is the church of Buea, this is the church of Cameroon, and this is the universal church.
When you look at the celebration, you also note that you followed some quiet activities that were held prelude to this celebration. We must commend the talent, the innovations derived by the students throughout different socio-cultural activities, choral music, traditional dance, and others. What do you pick out? I'm sure you witnessed one.
I am very much pleased with the occasion which I experienced in Bishop Organ College on the occasion of the Catholic World Games. I mean, you see the young seminarians, you see the students, they exhibit their talents. And it is this, and this is essentially what binds them together. Because as youth, they are students of their times. They are children of their time. And that social perspective, when it comes to forming their integral being, must be inculcated in the church and in the life of their life, so that they will see themselves in participation in the church, and they will see themselves come alive while they are playing football or basketball or volleyball, while they are singing or dancing. You see they come alive and they feel the fact that they are youth and not old people. And this is what we promote, and this is what we stand for today, Hilarion Tukov.
Now, let's look at the bishop is here as the guest of honor. He is the proprietor of all these schools. What do you make of his presence to grace such celebration?
I think Hilarion took off that the guests here are the students, not the bishop, because the bishop is the proprietor and he's the one in charge of all the schools in Cameroon. So we cannot be calling him a guest. He is the one summoning them to come to receive that fatherly guidelines. Because Gravissimo Educazione has stated that the local ordinary of a particular diocese has as extraordinary power to summon the Catholic schools around to indoctrinate them, so that he is most assured that the way they are growing up is peaceful and is calling to the mind of the church. I think this is what Bishop Michael Bibi is here to do, to investigate and to fortify the strength of the formators and the teachers and encourage the students to keep on the journey of educational faith.
When you look at the Bishop Michael Bibi, this is a shepherd, this is a proprietor, this is a father who sees the importance of education. When he came to the Diocese of Buea some years back, by then we did not have the likes of St. Pius X Comprehensive College. We did not have the likes of Our Lady of Lourdes Gardens. Our Lady of Grace College, Molyko, was shut down because of the crisis. Mount Carmel was crippling down. And this is somebody who has invested a lot in education. This is somebody who decided to open a school in Bafia, Our Lady of Grace and Next College in Bafia. This is somebody who has been trying to open Christ the King College, Idina. What do you make of a bishop who has so much passion for education?
I think Bishop Michael Bibi is living the existential needs of the church, because he has come to realize that most of the people who criticize the church, Hilarion took off, they criticize the church because of ignorance. And there's no better way to explain ignorance apart from education. And that is why he directs all and most of his resources towards the education, so that the youths of today who are going to be adults of tomorrow will not come up again criticizing the church out of ignorance. They are formed right from birth, they are formed from their teenagehood to know that this is the sacrament of the church. This is what the church teaches. This is the rule of the church. And I think that is where Bishop Michael Bibi's intention is get to. And it is hopeful that the youths who are growing up today may not criticize the church out of ignorance.
We have the likes of different schools gathered here for the celebration. 13 schools are all here in their numbers to grace this celebration. All the principals are answering present, making their way into the Divine Mercy co-cathedral. This celebration, anchored on the theme Catholic schools forming hearts for communion, participation and mission, is bringing together all of these individuals under the canopy of the Catholic education family, led or represented by Reverend Father Vincent Mesue as the education secretary. When you look at the man, the education secretary, representative of the bishop, throughout these activities that have been marking this celebration, what character do you pick out from the education secretary in ensuring that this activity meets up to this day? This is not the first edition. This is not the second. This is the third, and running towards under his mandate as the education secretary.
I think Reverend Father Vince Mesue is beyond competence, but he suits exactly the needs of the church. Because one thing he has always preached is that whether you are teaching chemistry, biology, physics, it is geared towards one thing, to let the student know that God is, God will be, and God will continue to be. And that is what every true educational secretary to uphold. I think with that mindset, he continued to see that all the ramification of the educational milieu is geared towards forming that religious aspect of the students. Not just to tell them about chemical formulas, periodic tables, to tell them about geology, to tell them about, is to insist on the fact that all of these things are hinging towards the existence of God, which is the source and creator of our being. And I think Bishop Mike Bibi has 1,001 reasons to keep him there as long as he will for the work he's doing.
The celebration is also graced by different chaplains coming from all the colleges. They are in charge of the spiritual life of these students. We also have the principals who have the day-to-day administrative function of these colleges. We have the teachers who have the first-hand experience with the students. On a daily basis, they have to interact. They have to encounter different species of students coming from different backgrounds with different ideology, and ensuring that they form them to become that holistic education, holistic students. Now, when you look at these students appearing here, what do you make out of the teachers who have been ensuring that they meet up with the goals of the church?
That is why the Catholic Church has the purse. Because when Pope Francis says that a shepherd must smell like a sheep, I think that is a model which the teachers are following. Whether they are writing on the board, using chalks or using pen, they do it as a student. And whether the students are dancing or playing or crying, they also cry with them. I think it is in line with Pope Francis' doctrine that they must do what? They must smell like the sheep. And the church does not only speak from a maternal concern, we also speak from a patris corde, from a fatherly heart. So I think that the teachers being present to see their students perform here, to see their students participate in this Eucharistic banquet is all a kudos to them, and a kudos to them again and again.
Let's talk about the appearance of the students. They are all adorned in their official attires coming from different schools, all the 13 schools. Let me check. St. Joseph College Sase in their white and angelic black, well, with their ties. We talk about Bishop Rogan, the same. We also talk about Enriqueta Comprehensive High School, Mukunda. We are yet to have St. Paul's College, Bojongo. We have Our Lady of Lords College Gardens, St. Pius X Comprehensive College there in Middle Farms. We also have St. Anne's College in Limbe. We have Christ the King College in Tiko, Our Lady Regina Pacis College in Motengeni, Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Munya, Our Lady of Grace in Moyoka, and all the likes. We have CUIB, the Entrepreneurial High School, the secondary section of the University Complex. We also have Bishop Jus Peters Memorial High School in Bukwango. These are all the 13 colleges appearing in their official way. If you look at the faces of the students, what do you pick out from these students who are coming together to communion under one canopy as students of the Catholic education family of the Diocese of Buea?
They have been waiting for this day, and indeed their appearance and their countenance tells it all. I don't know if you have noticed how serene they are sitting, how reverent they are sitting. In fact, that cognitive conscience that they are in the presence of God, not just to celebrate, but to first start with prayer as everything else should start, I think it speaks a lot about the Catholic Church, and it speaks about the Church of tomorrow. So I must congratulate the students for their countenance, I must congratulate them for their reverence of sitting, and I must congratulate them for their angelic voices, which the St. Joseph's College of Sase is really leading us today with the Eucharistic banquet. And I must say that the Mass and the Eucharistic banquet and this celebration of today is going to be fruitful just from the start, and their countenance.
A fruitful celebration we are anticipating for. Let's also get the anticipation. You made mention that the bishop is the one who summons, and the students are coming as guests. Now, the bishop has just summoned the students. He has summoned the teachers, all the members of the Catholic education family of the diocese in which he is in charge as the proprietor. What is that message you are anticipating the bishop to give to the students? That message you want the bishop to give to the teachers, all the members of this family?
It will be as it has always been, because it has always been the tradition of our Lord Bishop Mike Bibi, to stick to what the church have teaches. And that is what I think is going to be given today. That students be honest, don't tell lies, be truthful, be docile, and respect your formation and education. Teachers, you must also be the parents of these students. Teachers, you must also be conscious of the needs of these children. Teachers, you must also know the mental and physical growth of these children so as to aid them very well. I think that has always been the mind of the church, and that has always been what Bishop Mike Bibi has stand for. And I anticipate that that is what he's going to stand for today, tomorrow, and next tomorrow.
That is what he's going to stand for today, tomorrow, and next tomorrow. Anticipations coming in there from Brother Junior Elumbat, who is making a countenance about what he's expecting from the bishop during this celebration of the Word of Catholic School. Not that everything starts with God, and that is the reason the students are converged here at the Divine Mercy Co-cathedral. First, to give thanks to God for these activities in which they have been running through.
Good
and
morning
of course,
and welcome to the 2025
we also talk about what they are also coming in to receive from their bishop. And the celebration will be presided at by the bishop of the Diocese of Buea, His Lordship Michael Bibi. We urge you to stay tuned to Divine Mercy, follow us live, and enjoy this Eucharistic celebration as we enjoy the liturgy.
Take your bread and wine procession, or your gifts, which is in bread and wine, take it behind the church, so that when it is time for bread and wine, we will not have fidgeting in the church. And to all the students who are yet to be settled, kindly do that in silence, because we are in the presence of the Lord. Thank you, and we wish you a wonderful celebration. Dear students, you are also informed of the availability of restrooms at the basement of the co-cathedral. Please, if you miss your way, ask the protocol to direct you to the restrooms. And we also wish to let the protocol to know that cars should not be parked where we usually take photographs. At the moment, we have 2 cars parked where pictures are supposed to be taken. Please, if you know your car is parked there, kindly take it off that position. And protocol help us to ensure that cars are not parked in that area.